This Capricorn full moon is really asking us to be very practical about our actions, about our words, and about how we are moving in this time of our life. July is bringing a month of many retrogrades and many moments of a pause. And with the Capricorn energy, it's asking us to be mature and to be insightful and aware of how our actions can really affect us in the long haul. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Hidden Alchemy by Sade. My name is Sade, and it is a true pleasure for me to be here with you all, giving you the astrology for the month, specifically the full moon in this month of July. Now, if it's your first time here listening to my channel, welcome. And if not, welcome back. July, if you have not listened to my month of July podcast already, July is definitely a month of change. And it is really the month to slow things down so that we can adapt to the change. And this Capricorn full moon is even slowing us down even more. And the reason I say that is because Capricorn is ruled naturally by Saturn, and Saturn likes to do things in a very organized, a very judicial, and a very practical type of way. So beyond just giving you the information of what's going on with the full moon, I do want to talk about what's going on around this full moon. And we just had Venus move into the sign of Gemini, making a nice kiss to Uranus, just moving into the sign of Gemini as well, which means our values are changing, right? I speak about this in my July video, but whenever you have Venus anywhere, we're talking about our values and our belief systems. Neptune has also just stationed retrograde in the sign of Aries. So there's a lot changing in the Aries and Gemini area of our chart. And then we also have Saturn getting ready to go retrograde next to this full moon. So this full moon is literally saying, hold up, hold up, hold up. There are duties and responsibilities that we have for ourselves and for others. And with all of this change happening, we have to be very mindful and aware of where we're showing up and where we're not showing up correctly for ourselves. Capricorn, because it's ruled by Saturn, is that elder parent that is just kind of like, I told you so. I told you should have did this. I told you should have taken care of that. And it does that not to penalize us, but to mature us for the realities of life and the duties and responsibilities that are required for us in life. And because it is July, the sun is in Cancer, we really want to focus more on what we feel like doing, right? When anything is in the sign of Cancer, it's really asking us to tap into our emotional body of like, I feel like I want to sleep in here, and I feel like, I just want to spend time at the beach, and I feel like I just want to sit here and cry, right? But Capricorn opposing this sun in Cancer is really asking us to get a grip on our emotional body and find practical ways to nourish and take care of ourselves emotionally so that we can still show up in our duties and responsibilities despite all of the changes and shifts that are happening around us, which can be very hard because with these major planets going retrograde, Neptune is going retrograde, Saturn's going retrograde, Mercury is going to be going retrograde, and Chiron is going retrograde all in the month of July. It really is important for us to really just take stock of how we are resting, how we are nourishing, how we are grieving, right? How we are taking care of ourselves in a practical way so that we can show up responsibly in our duties and our responsibilities. And sometimes that means slowing down, taking things off of the to-do list, canceling plans here and there, right? And getting a little bit more organized on self-care as well as work commitments and things that need to take shape. Now let's go ahead and I know I kind of jumbled very quickly, dived right into it, but Capricorn is a feminine sign. It is ruled by Saturn and it is Earth. So it really ties into the Earth plane of duty, of responsibility, but also the internalization of that, because it's a feminine sign, the internalization of knowing the duties and responsibilities that we need to have in our life in order for us to feel stable, because that's earth, to feel stable, to feel grounded, to feel successful. And it can feel really difficult to feel stable when there's so much shifting and happening astrologically and in our life. So this full moon is going to shed light on the Capricorn area of our chart, of where we need a little bit more nourishment of that area and where we need more practicality. Now, opposing that, we have the sun in Cancer. Cancer is feminine as well, and it's ruled by the moon as well as being a water sign. So water is really about nourishment. It's about hydration. And if you ever think about, I'm thinking of like the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob was in Sandy's dome when she was hibernating and he was dry. And that's what I think about when I think about Cancer and Capricorn, right? It's like Cancer is literally the sea, the ocean that's like, nourish yourself, hydrate yourself. And Saturn pulls energy from whatever it touches, which is Capricorn energy in itself. So really finding that perfect balance of making sure you are hydrating yourself, not just through your foods, but through your lifestyle, right? It can't always be about work, and it can't always be about play. There has to be a perfect balance. And it's great if we can have them both in the same day, but it might also mean that if you are a person who is always working, you might have to practically plan moments of joy and play in your life. And I know that that kind of sounds weird, to plan joy, but sometimes it can be easy to fall into one aspect of a sign. And that's why we have the full moon, because the full moon is letting us know, hey, somewhere is not balanced and we need to have more balance. So that's my views on this Capricorn full moon for this hectic and busy month of July, is really taking time to nourish ourselves. And depending on when you're listening to this video, you might even be able to get a grip on your nourishment before this full moon takes its peak and its shape, because it will highlight where there is a lack of balance. So if you have any questions of where this full moon is taking place in your chart and just how you can connect with this energy on a deeper level, always feel free to message me on my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, or you can send me an email at info@hiddenalchemybysade.com. I will always respond, and we can go ahead and set up your chart reading. Other than that, everyone, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Cannot wait to see you for our next video.